Hey guys, welcome to Saturday with Mammie K. Today we are making tuna steaks. We're going to have those with some seasoned wild rice and sweet and sour mustard greens, which Mammie K gave me kind of the recipe
Yes.
to, and we'll see if it comes out any good because I just made it my own way. I don't know how it's supposed to be.
It's sort of a grandma recipe.
Grandma recipe. Okay, so along the way, of course, we will have, as always, Mammie K's prediction for Packers Washington. So, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the first thing that we have to do is prepare the fish. I have had this on. Now, preparation of meat, preparation of this fish starts with tempering it. I brought it out about an hour ago. Let it kind of get up to room temperature so that the internal temperature is not 40 degrees. We're searing this. This is tuna, so on the inside it needs to be very gently cooked, if not raw. This is fish that you can eat raw. You can put it in a gazpacho. You can put it in all kinds of stuff. And the last thing we want to do is overcook this fish. One of my favorite chefs, Francis Malmon, is fond of saying there's nothing sadder than a piece of overcooked fish. We're not going to do that. We're going to sear it off, cook it through part way, and then let it stay nice and pink on the inside. To do that, we're going to prepare it with a nice seasoned blend and we're going to sear this so you can go ahead and stick your nose in there and smell it. Yeah,
good.
and that's got
Herbs.
yeah, we've no herbs in it.
Oh, no herbs.
Yeah, nice try, but no herbs. But we've got the recipe for that for you. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so for our rub for the tuna, all we're going to do is add a teaspoon of coriander seed, a couple solid 3-finger pinches of salt, a pinch of fennel seed, which is really amazing magical ingredient. You just don't want to use too much. And then I have, because when I get oranges and citrus fruit, I like to peel it and dry the peels. I've got some dried orange peel we're going to throw in with that. That's going to be amazing. Now, you can throw this in a spice grinder and grind it up. I'm just going to do it with a mortar and pestle because there's not that much to do. Oh, and I forgot, a little crack of black pepper would be good. And then we will add this, because this has salt in it, we're going to add this only to the back side of the fish. We're going to dry the presentation side to get that crust that we're looking for, and then we will season the back side of the fish and potentially use a little bit of this as seasoning after. I am going to coat these, and this is one of the things, when I show you the recipe, you're going to hear me say, which I'll often say, don't salt the presentation side because salt will draw out the water, and it's very difficult to brown water. That's one of the things that I learned. However, we're going to coat this fish first with some high smoke point oil. This is just like canola oil. Grapeseed oil is another good one. One that will smoke at a higher temperature, which we want to sear these off at a really high temperature. The beauty of it is we can go against our rule because oil is hydrophobic, so it's going to keep the water away, and then our seasoning and our rub goes on top of that, and so we don't have that issue with the browning. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just coat this fish really good on all sides.
Nice piece of fish.
Yeah, some of them are nice. We got one good steak, and then the rest is kind of pieces that I'm not as fond of, but we've got one really, really good looking one for you. That's going to be for you.
That's nice.
All right, so with that done, we can take our dry hand and go ahead and season this.
The seasoning makes a difference, right?
And seasoning makes a difference. And since this blend has salt in it, normally I wouldn't do this on the presentation side, but with that oil, that'll form a barrier. We're going to go ahead and get both sides, and we should see browning on both sides anyway. Be a good test case if nothing else. All right, so that is looking good. We've got our fish ready to go. What I need to do is get this pan ripping hot, get some oil in there hot, we'll temp it out, and then we are ready to go ahead and sear the fish. But first, let me wash my hands. Okay, so we have got smoke coming off this high temp oil, and I actually turned it off for a second, and we're going to turn it back on again and check the temp. I didn't want it to get too hot, but we are at 450 degrees. Make sure we're still ripping along, and that should be more than ready. I think we'll just do Mammie K's nice steak right now, and we'll test our little theory that because we put that oil in there, that sizzle is exactly what you want to hear. And we're gonna watch the gray color, the cooked color kind of come up about, a third of the way. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn it. Got our fish turner right here. And the thing, ooh, that smells good.
Doesn't it?
Can you smell that? Yeah, that smells
Yeah.
really good. The thing we don't want to do is we don't want to leave it, we don't want to touch it. You put a protein in, just let it sit, it'll release on its own. If you start playing around with it, you're going to tear it, and this fish is very delicate anyway, so we may have a little, actually it's a pretty hardy fish for fish, but fish is always more delicate, so we're going to leave it in there. You can see the cooked portion kind of creeping up the edge, and I'll actually pick this up and sear the edges just because I have this out, get everything nice and encrusted if possible. So we are looking like at about 3 minutes. I think we got about another minute to wait, and we'll go ahead and turn this over at that time. Okay, we are ready to flip this tuna over and see what we've got.
Ooh, smells delightful.
Ooh, and I almost broke it, Mammie.
Oh,
the
that's
last thing I want to do.
I
We'll do
know
that
you
when
don't.
it's ready.
I know you don't.
And that, I don't know if you can see it, but that has got a beautiful crust on it. With or without the salt on the presentation side, because we did that little trick and boy did it work. So now we've got, I'm going to go ahead and just touch up, just kind of sear each of the edges. You don't have to do this, it's kind of difficult to do, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but for Mammie K we're going to spend a little extra time.
Oh, thank you, Brady.
The other thing it will do is it will obscure your vision as far as how much of the meat is cooked, but we know this tuna steak will be just absolutely fine, and it does. The last thing we want to do is overcook it. We want to feel it crusty on the outside, but a lot of give on the internal part of it. And with that, you can feel it. It's crusty as on the outside, but still soft in the middle. And I think we're ready to go ahead. We'll shut this off. Let it cook for just about 30 more seconds. But I don't want this pan to get too hot because I've got a little trick. We're making a lemon butter here. We want to deglaze this next with some lemon juice. Then actually I'm going to draw that off because this pan is so hot. I want to make sure once we deglaze there's going to be some burnt stuff and I can just control the pan temperature. In fact, I'm going to take this actually off the heat right now and let it finish searing just so it can start to cool a little bit and we don't get that blackening. The last thing you want is actually burnt food. It's going to taste like ash and that's not good. All right, so this is ready to go. It's actually ready to rest, so we're going to rest that right there, and we'll go ahead and make our lemon butter sauce. Is it
Butter.
Lemon? Oh, butter. Okay, lemon butter
That's
sauce.
it.
So what I like to do, because this was seared so hot and I want to be able to control the temperature, I'm just going to take and deglaze with my lemon juice, and if there's some on these stainless, you get some blackening in the corner. I'm going to deglaze this pan. You can hear that sizzle with a little lemon juice. I want to get all that goodness. I don't want to lose any of that, but I don't want to get that little dark portion. And then I'm just going to transfer all that good stuff into here. Another little small sauce pot. Now I have complete control over the temperature, and we can kind of start over with that. So
That's
with
good.
this, I'm going to set this aside somewhere where it's not going to melt anything. I didn't think ahead. And we'll add a little more lemon, I think.
Ooh, I love lemon.
And I think while we're at it, it would make a whole lot of sense to add a little bit more of that rub to this.
Okay.
That's going to go good. That's got coriander seed, fennel. That's got dried orange peel that I dried myself. And now we're in complete control of the temperature. So we can start this back up again. Oh, it'd help if I turned the gas on. Start this back up again. And put it at a lower temperature, and now we can make sure that butter doesn't burn on us or anything like that. We'll let it warm just a little bit.
Yeah, butter can burn quickly.
So have you had wild rice recently?
Not recently.
You're going to like this. So all our sides are prepared today. We've just got collards, sweet and sour. Not collard greens. I got beet greens. I don't know what I said earlier, but I got beet greens. I like those. And that wild rice turned out really, really good. So this is getting warm enough. Take a couple tablespoons of butter and add it to that. Now again, we don't have to worry about that butter just burning on us.
I don't know why, but butter is just so rich and creamy and yummy on everything.
Because it's made out of entirely fat.
Probably. That's
It's not a
probably
mystery.
it.
But we've got a lighter recipe today, so fat is flavor, so we're going to have this on it. We'll put a little of that on it. It's going to have tons of flavor, but it's not going to have all the fat that some of the other, like last week's recipe, which I don't know if anybody's ever going to see it, but we had ribeye steak. That's got a lot of fat in it too, which is very flavorful, but it's, you need to have some of this good stuff. Now you got today wild rice, which is going to have a lot of fiber and nutrients in it. This tuna steak's going to have omega-3 fatty acids, lots of good things.
Oh, that's very good.
This is a meal that's going to make you younger. So that's always
thank you.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to taste, and we'll season this to taste at this point, but our lemon butter is pretty much ready to go, and this meal is pretty much ready to go. We'll have Mammie Kay make the table, and then we'll plate it up. Okay guys, we're ready to plate up. We did rest that tuna steak for a little bit, and what I like to do is, rather than cut it, is just break it. It's got its own breaking points. Just break it like that, and we'll see it's still a little pink in the middle. Actually, before I do that, let's just do this. Let's get a little of that lemon butter underneath. So we want to put a little dab of that. Like so. And our rice. Our rice on top of that, a little bit of that for you. Look how separate that is, and this is all seasoned up, so you won't have to likely have to have any salt or pepper or anything like that. And that's really good for you stuff, loaded with minerals, B vitamins. Then our tuna, like so. We're going to, a little more of the lemon butter's got to go on top.
Looks juicy and yummy.
To me, that's actually cooked a little more than it should have been, but that's okay. We'll live with it.
I like cooked.
And then on top, after the lemon butter goes on, we're going to take, let me get the stems off of this, a little fresh dill. It's going to add some color. Just rock chop that. You can chop it coarse, you can chop it fine, whatever your heart desires. Put a little of that on top. That's going to add a little fresh flavor as well.
I can smell it.
And certainly a little quarter of lemon is not going to be a bad idea, I don't think. We'll throw that on there.
Okay.
And a little greens with that. And of course, finally, our beet greens, sweet and sour beet greens. This is nothing. Cook half a dozen strips of bacon, pulled the bacon aside, reserved the fat, cooked the collard greens with, half a cup. This is a pound of greens. I had half a cup of water, a little bit of quarter cup of vinegar, and a quarter cup of sugar in there, and we'll see how that turns out. But with that, I think the salt is here if you need it, but I think that is ready to go. Let's actually just do this real quick, though. There's no sense in wasting that last bit of flavor from the thing. And I think we're ready to eat, Mom.
Good, good. I'm hungry.
Okay, Mammie Kay, before you get to eat, though, everybody wants to know your game prediction for the Packers versus Washington, and we are looking for some documentation because Mammie Kay said she got the last one right. She said it wrong on video. She said 12. She said who was it we played last week? The Bears would get 12. Yes. But she wrote
27.
down...
I wrote 27.
For the Packers.
For the
Bears is what you got 24. Wrong, though. You said 12.
Yeah, so that was wrong.
Yeah, but we have potentially documentation that she actually had it right and just got nervous on camera and said the wrong number. So
well, they won, and that's important.
That's what matters. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so what's your prediction now?
Okay.
David Bakhtiari is back practicing, but he's probably not going to play.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a step in the right direction.
And Kevin King is probably going to be out there. Preston Smith may not be, though.
Yeah.
So what do you got on this?
Well, what I got on this is... I think this is going to be hard. It was very hard to predict because to me, we just need to take a look at the potential that Washington may stir up. We never know. We never know.
Actually quite accurate. They have a pretty loaded roster in terms of on paper. So.
We just don't know. So I went with the Packers 30 and the Washington 23.
23, okay.
Because I think it could be close.
Okay, all right. Well,
but the Packers got to win.
Packers got to win. That's all that's important.
Yep.
And you got to eat. That's what.
Oh yes, yes. And thank you, Brady. You're a great chef.
You're welcome. Well, we have a game to play while you eat, since I don't have anything right now. But I'll get fed later. But I have a guessing game for you. So you taste that first.
Okay. All right. I gotta taste the greens.
Well, and I have no idea if those are anything like they're supposed to be.
Like Grandma's.
I've never had Grandma's, and
Oh,
you wouldn't
boy.
tell me the recipe because you said it was a secret.
That's good.
Okay, so it passes?
It passes.
All right. Well, that's good. Now, the one thing I would have done, I bought the bag of greens, and there were so many stems, and they're all little tiny pieces. I'm going to get fresh next time and cut those stupid things off. And, you know, they're really, I cooked it for, you know, you cook it for till the stems get tender. Those stupid things I couldn't get tender no matter how much I did. And I couldn't pick them all out either because they're so small. So you can work around those if you want. But try that tuna steak. Mammie Kay's never had a tuna steak before.
No, I don't believe I have.
Take a giant bite. Make sure you take a giant bite since you're on camera.
That is wonderful.
Well, we will finish up, let Mammie Kay eat, and oh wait, I forgot my guessing game, and you still need to try the rice, so,
yeah.
but you don't have to try it right now. First, I want you to guess, what do you think the strangest thing in my refrigerator is right now? So you can think about it a little bit and try the rice. There's evidence, there's clues all around my house as to what it may be right now because I'm doing a particular thing or have done a particular thing to my house.
Painting.
Okay, so what do you think might be in my refrigerator that would be the strangest thing that could possibly be in my refrigerator?
Okay. Paint thinner.
No, you were so close! It's a paintbrush.
Oh.
So when I'm done painting, if I need to do more painting the next day, rather than wash the whole brush out, you can take the brush as it is, wrap it in saran wrap, and squeeze out all the air and fold it over and put it in your refrigerator, and it's good to use the next day. I never thought you'd come anywhere near it. That's so much closer than I thought. All right, try that rice, and we'll let the folks go.
This is good.
And that's really good for you.
That is very good.
Okay. All right, folks, well, that will do it for Saturday with Mammie Kay today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I hope the Packers get that big win. We'll be back all weekend talking about it, and of course, get back to Mammie Kay's predictions by and by. You guys have a good one. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Packernation Worldwide.
Okay, guys. What? Cut.